So what is up, ladies and gentlemen, my name is LittleMarMan. Today I'm going to be showcasing the living quarters on the map of Der Eisendrache. Basically the story goes that Samantha, her father, Ludwig Maxis, and of course Richotfen all lived here in the living quarters when Group 935 work was actually going on in Griffin Castle, which is obviously Der Eisendrache, and all this work sort of corresponded to what was going on Griffin Station on the moon, which we'll come to in a second, and basically all the other Group 935 work and research with Element 115 and stuff on, of course, this zombies map. So when you head into the living quarters, the first thing that I'm going to be going over is Samantha's room. So basically a lot of people have picked out different things from her room that are really interesting. I'm basically going to be showing you all of them. And first things first, we actually have a lot of rockets. That is both a reference to Ascension, to Moon, and of course to this map. And then we have like a little musical box where the human version of Samantha that emerges from the MPD on Moon is actually sort of the spinner on it. And there's a lot of stuff all over the place, obviously, because it's sort of set in an apocalypse type time, zombies coming in and stuff. Then we have our toy box, which we actually have a keeper skull in it, but that's sort of for the void bow. And her toys are a bit weird. She does play a musical instrument, which is all good and all cool as well. And just a pretty standard girl's room. It's not as bright and colourful as the one, of course, we've seen in the Origins cutscene, but of course that was a completely different house. That was actually a house. This is sort of just our temporary home when Maxis actually has to come out here and work, and he did have to sort of grind out in work for this. But coming on to our pictures, they're actually pretty good. Like, look at this one. We have me plus Fluffy, pretty standard stuff that we already knew. Then we have this big black figure fading into the sun, and butterflies and grass and mountains. I can only assume that that is maybe the robot. I'm not too sure. Like, it's sort of a big black figure. It could be some sort of gatekeeper, but I'm guessing it's a robot. That is the first thing that came to my mind. And then of course she has other drawings over the other side of her room. We're going to go over to them right now. And the first one is secrets. Dr. Graf has secrets. That is interesting. That is definitely interesting. Obviously, there's a lot of things that obviously Maxis and Graf can't actually sort of tell Samantha in everyday conversation, like, oh, me and your daddy are working on a weapon to kill other people and stuff. And there's another picture right beside it, and it says, Daddy says there were dragons a long time ago, and it's a picture of her and a dragon, and it sort of goes with this theme. Now the next one is actually pretty sad, and it does actually show the innocence of Samantha. She's basically, it looks like she's on her own in a forest, and she clearly has a sad face, and this is really scary for her, especially a girl her age, and it just really does bring out the innocence and how sort of, I think it basically symbolizes how sort of she goes a long way and she's really on her own out in the middle of nowhere when it comes to all the zombie stuff, especially being up controlling the zombies trapped in the MPD up on Moon. And then we have another one with Richotfen down the bottom right, Maxis on the bottom left, clearly because of the hat sort of gives away Richotfen. That is obviously her interpretation of the teleporter. Then we have her basically around Der Eisendrache with the rockets launching and different things going on around her, and I presume they're her interpretation of zombies as well, because zombies testing actually did go on quite a bit in both the Reese facility and of course Der Eisendrache. And this room as a whole does represent a lot of the innocent side of Samantha, but it does sort of bring out a lot of the weird sides as well. Then moving straight on, there's a bit of a partition sort of corridor between her and Maxis's room, and when you head right into Maxis's room, it is pretty unusual. It's like he never got any sleep at all, and when he did, he actually slept on the couch because his bed is covered in papers. There's a lot of writing on the wall, and it looks like he actually did a lot of experiments in his room as well. There's nothing really that we can take other than he was really scientific, really committed to Group 935, and of course really obsessed with all of the experiments and stuff. Like, there isn't really too much that we can take from it. Obviously he probably went through a lot of long sleepless nights. Now there is a projector up on the wall, and that does showcase some images as well, and there's a lot of videos out on that, and it's basically just a building of Griffin Station and a picture of the MPD. Nothing too significant. Once again, it is nice to see though. And yeah, then we have Richtofen's room, which is actually just a small room. It looks like he was barely there because, well, he was sort of mainly in charge of Der Reese. He was bouncing around between Der Reese and of course Griffin Station, and he was doing a lot for of course Group 935, and he probably wasn't too involved at Der Eisendrache. He said though, he actually does say in the map, like, the origins Richotfen does feel a connection towards the room, and he feels that he spent a lot of long happy nights here. So obviously he was comfortable when he actually was here after travelling a long way, obviously all the way to this castle, and it is really interesting as well. Now there's a room beside it, I presume that is Grof's room or one of the other Group 95 workers' room. There is another sort of living quarters, but it doesn't have any relation to any characters we're too familiar with. But that is pretty much it for this video. I thought I'd showcase all three of the rooms, give you a bit of background on, of course, the map. And if you haven't seen the video where I talk about what happened before Der Eisendrache and then what happened after, and what the cutscenes and stuff mean for the future of Call of Duty Zombies, definitely do check it out. It is really interesting. But I'm gonna leave it here, guys. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all learned something. Smash the like button if you did, subscribe if you're new, and that is pretty much it once again. Peace out, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all in another video very soon.